Welcome back, everyone. I'm here with Agnes and David for our ninth live legal news update. And as you know from last time, what we're doing is we're speaking to clients and people we've worked with in the past that we feel and I feel have got a real story to tell about the business and how they've grown the business. And I've known you, Agnes and David, for many years now. Actually,
almost a decade.
It's been a long time. And really, we met at the start of your first business.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it'd be great if you could tell people a little bit about what you guys are doing, because it's obviously very interesting. I know that you're involved in health and fitness, but maybe if you can explain to people your journey to date.
Sure. Do you want to start with maybe the Transformers and how the boot comes here?
So our backgrounds are, mine's a professional athlete background and Agnes is a cardiologist. And we met almost a decade ago, and we have a passion to help people, and we have a passion of making people understand what their purpose is in life. So going back a decade ago, when we started our first venture with a business, we created, now it's called Happy Boot Camps, which is a free fitness community workout, which runs now or is run in 16 different countries in the world. We started off in Hyde Park in 2011, where we were just running one session per week. And then we decided let's run 2 sessions. Then we went to 4 locations around London. And then we decided in 2016 to branch out and go global, because our goal, our mission with Happy Boot Camps is to reach 1 billion people around the world.
Yeah.
So
and it's an incredible ambition as well. It'd be so good to talk about that, because it's, all the time I've known you guys, you've always had that drive to kind of get as many people involved in health and fitness and the things that you care about as possible. And I know with the goal, it'd be great to talk about why you've decided to do that and how you want to get to that.
So the great thing about Happy Boot Camps, that it's not just about fitness, it's about many different things. So one thing is it's about forming a community. As you may know or may not know, that communities now around the world are not that developed. There's not a lot of communities. There's so many people by themselves. People have busy lifestyles. People may move to a different country and other reasons. So we wanted to form the community aspect with Happy Boot Camps, bringing people together, forming that connection, which is so important in humanity these days. So that's one reason. Another reason is exercise is one of the best tools that you can do for your brain mentally. If you can achieve things in fitness, then you can achieve anything in life. Because for you to get over that hurdle, to break the barrier, to take another leap, to get yourself out of the comfort zone, to start becoming uncomfortable, because that's what you need to do in exercise. If you want to get faster, fitter, stronger, if you want to lose weight, if you want to run a marathon or an Ironman, which we've had many people that come to Happy Boot Camps, then you have to get yourself uncomfortable. And you will know in business is that if you're going to start a business, it's not going to happen by you sitting back and relaxing. You will have to work maybe 7 days a week. You may have to work long hours. You may have to do things you don't enjoy doing, and many other aspects. So you've got that aspect of the Happy Boot Camps as well.
Also, I think we need to mention that whatever you want to achieve in life, you actually need to be physically and mentally healthy. So the exercise is exactly where you need what you need to do to keep you mentally and physically healthy.
And I think the thing about both of you is that you both have different backgrounds, but complementary backgrounds, to be able to kind of deliver what you want to do, which is, it's the physical side, it's the mental side, it's the physiological side, the food, the nutrition, and all those different things. So I know that you're also doing the Academy for Health Superheroes. That's a newer thing from the Transformers when you first started in this.
So I think if we go back to the boot camps, we can tell them about our miniature journey. So then we decided obviously to run these boot camps, and then what we decided to do then, we decided to create a business, which was in our passion. So we started off then because the classes on the weekends were so popular and they're for free, and they've been running now for over 7.5 years, and I still are for free every Saturday and Sunday in Hyde Park and in 16 other places around the world.
So Amit and Chris, who've joined, you can always come along.
You can always come along if you're in London.
Absolutely, guys.
Just check out happybookcomes.com if you're not
Very
in
nice
London.
people. In fact, we've met some of the nicest people. We've made the best friends. And believe it or not, by doing something free, we end up going to the best location around the world with the business because of this.
I'm sure you do, and just make that human contact.
Absolutely.
My saying is, living is about giving. So if you can give something back, then you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
So then we created the business, which obviously you've been involved in from the start on the legal side of aspects. So then we decided to. The boot camps were getting so busy and people were doing more classes, but we couldn't do classes 7 days a week for free. So then what we decided, let's start doing classes in the week. So then we started doing classes during the week, and we did many different types of classes with the business, the Transformers. And then we run that for over 5 years, a very successful business where we incorporated events, which you came to. You came to one of the events. We run holidays, so we went to We've organised holidays in 35 different countries around the world.
We did the terms for those.
We did the terms for them.
Some time ago.
We've done group coaching, one-on-one coaching, and many other aspects just from starting. The happy boot camps at the start. So then our journey was running the successful business of the Transformers, which I'm sure we can get us
supported. Thanks to you, it was successful business.
I think the thing is this, we were saying before, is that whenever we work with anyone, we said, and you were saying before we went on air, that whenever you work with anyone, you want to work with people that you enjoy working with.
Trust.
And trust. And the great thing about what you guys have done is that, and as I was saying, is that you've grown in the last decade. And so that whenever we've got involved, it's been at those points, we did the terms, we did employment things with you, with the trademark, GDPR, and you're going to look for investment. So it's really good to see that journey.
I think this is very important just to understand that, like you, as I said also before we went online, without you and without our content, we would not be able to make this journey, because you can't have a business without protecting. There are just so many legal issues, obviously, which you don't know in particular when you start. And in particular, because we work with people, we work with people and exercising. This means it could be injuries. We educate people, and we work not just with adults, but you mentioned also our product, the new one, Academy for Health Superhero. So we also deal with children. So which from the Transformers and Happy Bootcamps, we realized that to scale this up, the demand was so high and the demand was around the world that we needed to actually create a business which is scalable around the world.
And how did you come up? I know that we're going to talk about that, but I think for viewers and people interested in business, what I think would be helpful is to get, how do you turn what you do into a scalable business? Because you can take a tech product, you can take something that's a widget, and you can scale that. But when you take something like health and fitness and something that's so people orientated, it'd be good, because I know we talked about how do you take that and turn it into a scalable business?
I think anything that you do in life, one is that you have to have a purpose. That's the driving factor behind it. So if you haven't got a purpose, then if when the times do get tough, then are you going to step up and take the challenges on, or you going to fall back and think, I will do something different because I haven't got the purpose behind to get to that level that I want to get to.
Did you always know what your purpose was going to be, or did that form over
I think
time?
What it was, about me, and I believe David is very similar, we have two things. First of all, I'm one of these people who I can't be bothered to get out of the bed unless I have a goal which is much bigger than my own little problems.
Okay.
So this is number one. And number two, I grew up in a family, very lucky, where all women were incredibly just loving, caring, and passionate in helping people. And this is one of the things which I always wanted to do. And also they were always interested in health. So I think this is, I just was.
You had a background where
yes,
some
my
of
grandma,
those things
my mother, they were very much, they were I call them the naturopaths. So they were very much interested in helping people and health. They saw how important this is. And again, also they were quite strong women, so I got my also passion for doing things which are bigger than my little problems.
Yeah.
And I think David is exactly the same. This is why we're together.
Which is nice, you've got that alignment.
Yeah. And also by being involved with people, because I believe that anybody can achieve anything that they want, and what we are teaching or what services and products that we've got in place, that is going to impact people to actually get that. You can get the self-belief will be one area, self-belief that individual can achieve anything that they want. Then you've got the importance of the health, because it doesn't matter if you have that self-belief, but if you're not healthy, then you're not going to achieve what you want, because you're going to have problems down the line if you're overweight, if you're maybe taking medications, if you are not healthy, if you are suffering from some chronic diseases, that's going to actually affect you to achieve that goal that you want to achieve. So you may have the self-belief that you can do something, but if you aren't healthy behind it, then you
don't have the energy to do
some issues, at some point.
And I think this is exactly why we eventually got to the point that we realized that what really our passion is lifestyle medicine. And the reason is why, because lifestyle medicine is everything what David said. It is your optimal function, so it involves your behavior, your beliefs, your psychology, your mental state, your emotional state, and of course as well if you're exercising, nutrition, and the environment you are being surrounded with and you create. And fortunately, this year, lifestyle medicine is spreading around the world. So we went from the happy bootcamps to the transform.
So that's an interesting point. And if people do have questions, please do write in. But I think that you guys talk a lot about purpose and the things that underpin the business. But actually, you're both quite commercial people too. So does that mean that, do you look at the trend? Does the trend dictate a little bit about what the business does, or
it's to be idealist, you need to be a business person, because if you are not, if you don't have money, you can only help 3 people. And the research also says that, for example, if you ask people, would you rather be happy or rather rich? And first, most people say, I rather will be happy. However, then when they rephrase it and say, if you can have all the money in the world, so you can create feed all the starving children, you can create cure for cancer, you can, build schools, would you then be rather happy just for yourself or provide a happiness for millions of people? So there is this illusion that people think that you are only a good, and many people have this illusion that you are a good person if you actually are poor or you don't have too much, because otherwise you're greedy. But our purpose to reach 1 billion people, I can't reach 1 billion people as one person unless I create a business sustainable. And like with the Happy Bootcamps, we had to create a business which every year with £20,000 supported the Happy Bootcamps, because otherwise we
wouldn't be able to
do. And we provided this amazing service where we had the best professors in the world meeting the poorest people from London. They got in contact people. We have over 30 marriages. We have people who found jobs. Yes, we have babies. Absolutely.
People
lost weight.
If anyone's looking, Happy Bootcamps.
And also we've had and there's been over 200,000 people who have attended our Happy Boot
That's
camps around the
incredible.
world.
I mean, I like the idea that, the thing is, again, it's about the kind of businesses that we like working with, is that you can take the business that you guys care about, but it has such an impact on other people.
And when you look at the best business people in the world, it's always the same. They've done what they are passionate about. For us, we work often 12 to 16 hours per day, every day of the week. But for us, it doesn't feel like work.
No.
For us, this is our passion. I can do this every day for the rest of my life, what I'm doing. I never get tired of it, and I never get fed up. And no matter which mountain you put in front of me, I will break it because this is what I want to do. And in any business, the most important thing is you have to love it. You have to be passionate about it, because business is tough.
Yeah, and you touched upon
Exactly.
this before about you also, with your business, have surrounded yourself with good advisors and professionals.
Absolutely,
Because I think that's the other thing.
Absolutely.
People sometimes want to start on that journey, but as you were saying, if the foundations aren't right, then actually that's a problem later on.
So anybody who's, if anyone's watching this and they're looking to start a business, then, from our experience, with over a decade's worth of experience, I would recommend them to get, a good accountant, so then they can look after the finances and get somebody that knows what they're talking about when it comes to tax, to VAT, etc., etc.
And somebody who cares. And from our experience, we told you this before, we love women.
And get yourself a very good, knowledgeable lawyer in the fields that you need them in, because obviously you want to know what you're doing before it's too late.
Yeah. And I think as the business grows, that becomes just more and more important. I mean, you're now at the stage where you are looking to get investment in and to scale it out. So at that stage, and I know from experience with other businesses that we work with, at that stage, you want to get all your ducks in a row. I mean, there's no way that any investor is going to want to invest if you don't get your employment contracts right, if your terms are not right, your GDPR policies haven't been done.
It makes you look unprofessional. So nobody wants, no investor wants to actually deal with people who don't know what they are doing. And also, as I mentioned before, actually we started, I guarantee you that almost every startup for the first 12 months does things which are illegal just because you don't know. And what it is, of course, when you start a business and you are short on cash, your first instinct might be lawyers are, pricey and let's not hire them. But the amount of money we saved by hiring you and getting the advices, it's 10 times less than what the cost would be if we wouldn't hire you. And this is something what most people don't realize. It's because starting from employment laws, which are the most confusing in this country, even if you think you don't employ somebody, the moment you send an email to somebody for an interview, you are already on the employment law. If this is your website policy, if this is a trademarking, and the list goes on, you need lawyer. This is the first thing. So save up money, educate yourself how to run a business, very basic, and get an accountant and get women.
I know you said this, and I think it's great, obviously, because we're both women in business, so we like that. And David, I know that too.
But David says the same.
Yeah,
says the same thing.
The thing is with women, and I tell everybody that I meet about what I'm going to tell you, is that women actually care more than men, and that's big in business.
Not all men, but most
a majority of
men.
Well,
I think it's really about the relationship that you've created with the person, and I think all professional advisors want to be in a position that we're in, where you feel like I can talk to you guys, you can talk to me, and and we can do that freely. with our own
yeah, absolutely.
things, and that's
In a
what
business
relationship.
in particular, sorry for interrupting, when you start, I can't stress this, this is the most important thing, that you trust the person. And unfortunately, the trust cannot be built if you don't feel comfortable with your lawyer. And it is and with accountant the same. Our accountant, she was the only woman in the whole firm. I cannot speak with any of the guys because from her I can feel it. She cares. We are her baby. We are her pet project because she's also looking after us from the beginning.
Yeah.
And the same how I feel with you. We are kind of your pet project also, where you're proud because thanks to you we are growing.
Yeah.
And with your team, because you are the boss, so you surround yourself with people like this. But I've dealt with other accountants and other lawyers, and I never had this feeling. I would never trust them without looking over the shoulder what they do, because I felt more, I do perfect my job, and they maybe do perfect my job, but they never would advise me.
I think what I think the thing that we do quite well is that we've got a culture where people actually genuinely, I always say to people, it's not, most of the time, it's not just about the law, it's making sure that you know exactly where the risks are, what could go wrong, that you know that we care if something happens,
exactly.
and that's something else that comes over time. I think it'll be good before we kind of, wrap up in a bit, to talk about the scalability and the investment that you're looking at, because you talked about bringing artificial intelligence into coaching and lifestyle, and obviously technology in the law and AI is continues to be a big theme for business.
Yes, absolutely. So I think what is very important, that whatever your passion is, so we started with simply fitness classes. And a lot of people think that people like Steve Jobs, or if you look at Elon Musk, or whatever else on other genius, that these people just have the feeling, they just are the visionary. They not. These people know. They read. They actually see what's happening in the market, and this is what you need to do. You need to take your passion, and you need to do a hell of a lot of research to know how you can scale up. And let's say if your passion is to make bags for rats, this may not be scalable because there are not many people maybe working with the rats on the street in a bag. Yeah? So you need to rethink. You don't have to change your passion. You just need to be creative,
open to new ways of thinking.
Exactly. And remember, you have 100 billion of brain cells. It means every single of us is as smart as Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and Einstein. You just need to open your mind, read more. This is one of these, watch documentaries, read as much as possible, research, go outside your comfort zone and find something that you can scale up, and something what is happening in the future, because of the technological the revolution, there is so much changing. So you also, for example, don't want to do something what work in 20th century, because we are moving towards the technologies now. But I guarantee you, if you love something and you open your brain and research, you can definitely have very successful business with it.
Yeah. So I'm not saying AI should help with more mundane things. Humans will want human interaction for any more. Now, what do you think? Because actually, the app that you're talking about is about giving people support on a day-to-day basis for, changing their behavior, coaching. It could be therapy, it could be physical exercise. So what do you say about, because there is that thing, you want to see someone, another human being. What do you say to people who say, actually, there still needs to be that human connection when it...
Absolutely. And remember, the technology is there to support us to human connection.
The technology is just another tool.
Yeah.
We cannot forget about the other things which are going on as well. And I think people do forget. And what we want to do with the technology is just to remind people that these things need to be done, because people get overwhelmed with so many things going on. There was one social media app, now there's like 10 social media apps, so people are on all 10 of them, so they spend much more time on them. And I think that people just forget that it's a tool to use, and it's an amazing tool, but you have to be consciously aware of you using that, and that's where the human behaviour comes
and not
into us.
uses you.
Yeah.
And I think what is the most important, that the app or the technology we want to create is actually to improve social and human interaction. And the reason is why. Because when you look how lonely we became, mostly because we actually can't open up, we can't communicate. So it's not that there are not enough people around us, but we are really not that good in at the moment sharing emotional. And I'm not talking about obviously bursting in tears and telling you all my problems in life, but basically coming close. So one of the reasons why we have a daily such a good relationship for now almost a decade, because we're very good in communicating what we like, what we don't like, what bothers us, and most people can't do this. So all the technology is purely designed to make us better, healthier, and support human connection. So you can't be friends with 1 billion people except on the Facebook.
I mean, I was reading *Sapiens*, that book, and they were saying that actually human beings, like many animals, have evolved to have groups of about 150. That's what we can manage on a day-to-day.
Exactly.
But actually, you're right. It's just that being able to use the technology to sustain that
connection, high quality, improving the connection. Rather, it's not, again, the technology is there. So, for example, if you're struggling with a healthy lifestyle, with eating healthy, exercising, or maybe finding somebody you love, the technology is there to help you to break through your barriers and to meet the right person and surround yourself with the right people, and not to use you as at the moment, obviously, not on purpose, but like Facebook does it, or Google, just to sell you a product.
I think people just have to be consciously aware of how much they are using the technology, and I wouldn't advise anybody to be on their phone all day long. You need breaks from it as well, but the leverage that it can give you, it is fantastic. I must say that it's incredible that you can meet, you can speak, you can engage with anybody, anywhere in the world. You couldn't do that 10 years ago. I met Agnes on the internet.
He Googled me.
If it wasn't for Google, then I don't think I would have met Agnes.
And the thing is that, and what you're trying to do with your, the next stage of your business is to be able to, and not let the technology use you, but let you kind of use the technology for
because
your
if you look at this, why people spend so much time at the moment on social media is more because kind of they are lonely. It's easy to hide behind Facebook. Do nice shot and don't really show what's going on in your life. So we don't want people to encourage to waste time on a social media or on technology, but basically to grow, to use it to grow, to be happier, healthier, to achieve whatever you want. This is purposeful technology rather than just entertainment.
And if anyone is interested in scaling their business, is interested in health and fitness and how, in what you guys are doing, we'll put a link up so that they can contact you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think So, and if you've got any questions on any of the topics that we've raised, then, feel free to message us, email us, and we'll pass them on.
Does anybody have any questions?
Does anyone have questions?
If they're listening, if you've got any questions.
We've got, in the interest of transparency, one should know when they are talking to a bot. So I think this is a theme on kind of the technology and how people are interacting with it and kind of concerns around that. But I think that I like the way that, you guys have thought about it, which is, actually if you talk to people who are very aware of technology, I say technology because I'm a lawyer and I know, very little, but it's so broad, people's understanding of what artificial intelligence is and where it can take us. It means that it can actually take us to lots
I think what we all need to understand that technology is coming if we want or not, and if smart people get their hands on technology and use for the good of humanity, then it will be much easier to control that negative side effects of it. So this is why, guys, I know you're all super clever, super smart, so join us.
Yeah.
Let's do something good with the technology.
I know. So look, it's great. Good luck with the scaling up, with getting the investment. I can't wait to hear more about it. And and thank you to everyone who's been watching. I'm sure we're going to.
Thank you for having us. And,
You're welcome.
Thank you for your awesome work and support over the last 10 years.
Absolutely. She's our
pleasure.
hero. Without her, nothing would be possible. And thank you very much, guys, for spending with us the time. We very much appreciate, and we wish you all the best and all the success whatever you're planning.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.